No, I'm not, actually, I'm not on that committee, so I'm not helping.
Neither am
I'm gonna go ahead and get the order, and I'm gonna get
All right.
the gavel just for the topic. Everyone, thank you for your patience here. Thanks for the committee members who are able to be here today. We are holding our environmental concerns and real property meeting today in the boardroom, and it is open to the public. If we get a swamp of people in here, at some point we may have to limit the number of people. We'll probably start with asking supervisors to leave who aren't on the committee. So I think, where's my agenda? Do we need a motion to approve the minutes? Thank you. All right, can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the last committee meeting, please? Supervisor Simpson, second by Supervisor Merlino. Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That, anyone opposed, abstained, thank you, that carries. There, it won't be scratchy. Don't touch my phone. All right.
I got things for you right here.
Ow! You need that hand sanitizer. Okay. The original reason that we called this special meeting was so that we could reevaluate our decision on the bid for auctioneer services. At the last meeting, we had wanted to go back out to bid. Julie, I didn't ask you this, but do you want to say anything? Do you want to speak to this at the microphone so people can hear you?
No, just reiterating what Ryan said, it's a tremendous amount of work for our office to reissue bids if it's in a what-if situation. You know, what if we were to use that online auction one time? I think that moving forward with the award and then just adding that component for next year would be that.
Okay, so this would just be a one-year term. Okay. And awarding it to, this was the lowest bidder, professional?
With the understanding that when we RFP it out again, we'll RFP it with those services included.
There's a couple things in that, but.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Sorry, go ahead. Supervisor
I was
Brown.
wondering, is there anything we could do if we have our established website, and that we could actually put it on? We don't have anything to advertise anymore, do we?
Advertise an actual auction. I mean, we could do it like we do, or like we did with the guiding property. We would do it the same way if we had that need. But no, we don't have an auction.
Well, not an auction, I mean, just to put it out there, this is the property that we're auctioning, for the general public, and
We talked about avenues for advertising if we do.
thank you.
Okay, I'm going to call the question. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, that carries. Thank you. And since we were meeting, I wanted to bring back for discussion our decision on going forward with the demolition of the Bay Road property, because we continue to have people who are interested.
I motion to adjourn.
I would like to put out there that one of the things I wanted to get the committee consensus or not is allowing people who are interested in buying the property go to the property with a site visit. We did do that with the people who were bidding on the demolition.
There's no one showing any interest in the property, no one has come to the town to ask any information about the property, about setbacks, about what would be allowed use. Nobody comes to the town with any interest. So I'd rather not delay, I'd rather move ahead.
I do see there's someone from the public. I will give the privilege of the floor to the public. Brad, hold on. Can you come up, Mike, so people can hear you? Thanks.
Hi, I'm Mike Parwana. I I would be interested in bidding on that property if I had an opportunity to inspect the site, see what it looks like. It seems to me, from driving by for many decades, that it's an essentially sound building that could be a useful building and would be good on the public tax rolls. I believe it has been fiscally irresponsible of the county to have not done an environmental assessment decades ago on this. This could have been paying taxes for, what, nearly 2 decades, 15 years, I don't know what the time is. So the public has lost, what, $200,000-$300,000 in taxes, and we're going to spend another $70,000 to not build it down. Does that include removal of the slab? I mean, there are a lot of questions. Whereas, all you need are 2 people who are willing to bid on this building, and they take the responsibility for it. Obviously there would need to be some sort of qualifications on that. They would have to bring the building up to snuff in some period of time and put it back to use. Pay taxes on it. That's in the best interest of the taxpayer. That is the most fiscally responsible thing to do. So I'm prepared to bid on it, pending a site visit to make sure that there aren't unforeseen concerns. I think it would be wrong not to allow that for the general public. If at that point you have no bidders, then it's a different story. But I think that taking that step is important to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Perlman. Supervisor McGowan?
Yes. I have taken finally, taken a walkthrough. And I'm, this whole thing, Supervisor Strauss, I'm not trying to hold anything up. But if we have an opportunity to sell it, and if someone wants to make that investment in fixing it up, we have a couple months to do it. And I'd be more than happy to do a walkthrough with this gentleman if it's courteous of the board to, if we have some people interested and want to make the investment. Once you tear it down, yes, the lot changes, due to the setbacks, but right now we have a pre-existing building, so. I don't want to hold up the process at all of tearing it down, but if we have someone that would like to make that investment and bring that building back and keep it on the tax rolls, that's where I feel that we're responsible for doing that too.
Okay. Supervisor Diamond?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I have to agree with Supervisor McGowan that maybe we ought to take a look at, or put a timeline as far as the bidding goes on this particular property, and allow the public an opportunity if they want to bid. Maybe we close the bidding process by the end of July or something like that, with a timeline. And if nobody does come forward with a responsible bid or bid, then we tear the building down. But I'd like to offer it, as Mr. Fallon suggested. And I just want to add a little story that occurred in the city of Glens Falls. I was prepared to tear a building down on Culver Street. Everybody remembers that, it was a tiny little house. I had an engineer come in and he said, listen, I can rehab this house, keep it and put it back on the tax rolls. We deeded him the property for $1 and he did a remarkable job. So, he saved the city tax dollars on demolition, and we continue to keep this property on the tax roll. So it really worked out well for us.
It's a beautiful little house.
It really is.
Supervisor Strauss?
I've been trying to make something on this piece of property, and it's documented since 2014, 6 years. We've been trying to get this building down. It is a public health issue, and if you allow somebody in the building, it becomes a liability to this county or the town, whoever allows an outsider to visit this piece of property with the K-10 roof, with the asbestos, with the contamination in the soil. I think that liability exceeds common sense. I think we
Supervisor Strahl, is the town prepared to take the land and the building from the county at this time?
Absolutely not.
Okay. County Attorney, could you please give us an update on where we stand with the legal access to the building?
Yes, so we filed a petition, now it's the three. It just needs the 60-day period from when we file it and all the notices and stuff. We plan on doing the default judgment in May. So we will take possession of the property in May.
And how were we able to get the bidders on the demo RFP into the building?
We did an access agreement with the actual owner.
So we have an access agreement for county.
Just for that bid, so we would just do another agreement if you wanted to allow other people on.
Okay, I thought it was more broad than just for the bid.
Yeah, it was more broad, it was to allow us, anyone to go onto the property for inspection of the property.
Okay.
I didn't bring a copy of that, but I do have a copy, and I think Mary has a copy of
I'm
the
sure.
treasurer's song, we do.
Can you give us an update on the people who you reached out to?
I can.
Thank you.
So back on March 11th, I spoke to two individuals, I'm not going to give names, but one of the guys, well, actually, any of these that I talked about, I have talked to in the past, they have come to me. This gentleman said that he is still interested in the building, but is out of town until the middle of April. He winters down south. He said he would clean up the building and secure it. He would put new windows in, new doors, and would be using it to store old and classic cars. He would do whatever he needed to. He was thinking about the north wing, tearing it down, the overhang, tearing it down, putting a new roof on the building. He would like to be kept in the loop as to what's going on, what the county plans on doing, because he is definitely interested. Another man reached out to me about a year ago who was interested in the property. I reached back out to him also on March 11th, gave him my information. He has reached out to me since a couple of times. He planned on attending today's meeting, but with everything going on with the COVID-19, he decided against coming to the meeting. He called me again this morning and wanted to know was the meeting still on, but he wanted to let me know he was uncomfortable attending the meeting. So, but he would also, both of these two would also like to, get into the building if they could and do a walkthrough. I have another gentleman that came to me last year before the holidays, and he said that he would like to be invited to attend an environmental conservation and real property tax committee meeting. And so when all this was going on, he had sent me an email back in December, letting me know things, that he was interested in pursuing the property. He would like to do a feasibility study to obtain like cost of repair, construction, et cetera. Therefore, he would like to do the walkthrough of the property itself as well. And so I reached back out to him. He is in New York City right now for business, but this gentleman lives right in that neighborhood. So he says, he's been seeing it this way for years himself. And he says that he felt that it was a decent building that he felt he could use for his business. So he was unable to attend today's meeting, but he, again, is interested. So those are three, besides the gentleman that spoke, that I have had communication with. I think that if it was advertised out there properly, we may get other interest. It's just, do we really go about getting it out to the public?
Right. Well, I don't think this committee is interested in doing that, so not correct. Just looking for if everyone is objecting or would be agreeable to allowing people to look at the building. Supervisor Merlino.
I think we spend more time on this building than we did ourselves in the nursing home. And I think it's about time you sit down and make a decision. John is very interested in having it taken down, but you got 3 or 4 people there, another gentleman here. Why don't we just set a date April 15th. By then, if they don't look at it and they don't think they're gonna bid on it, it comes down to 16th. I mean, we can't belabor this anymore. So that would be my suggestion. Let's put it out. I heard we had no bidders, now I hear we have 4 bidders. Don says nobody came to the town to find out any information about the building or setbacks. That's important. These people should know what they can do with that building. I think we should just give it another 3 weeks, and that's it. And get those people in there to look at it if they can, and after that, they'll take it down. That's my opinion.
Supervisor Stroud, and then Supervisor Simpson.
I mean, if you talk to the neighbors, they want the building down. All these interested people never came to the town to ask what they could not do it, because they do boat storage. They never came and asked us about that. It's been sitting there for 20 years. Now we have an opportunity to get the building down and get it down in a timely manner. It's what the town board wants, it's what the public wants, the town wants. We want this ugly, publicly unsafe building down.
Well, I think,
ASAP.
I just want to make public, which I think they'll be okay with, Mr. Perwan is from Queensberry. Supervisor Simpson?
It seems in all of our discussions, it's lost on the liability of the county. We talked about the potential of what kind of contamination is in the ground, or we don't know, or do know. I think that part of all of our discussions on these properties was to protect the future of that property by ensuring that if we are going to sell it, that there isn't a problem down the road. We don't know what's in the ground.
Supervisor Siebert?
Thank you. I think that Supervisor Molino did a good compromise, but I would also highlight again that this is a county issue at this time. It's not in front of the town board. We're here as members of the public. Thankfully, someone's here to advocate on behalf of members of the public that might be interested. And we need to remember that we're here as county supervisors. So I support Supervisor Molino's suggestion just as a member of the board.
Giving people a date. Okay. Supervisor Stroud, then I'm gonna end the discussion.
All right, I just want to read from the Atlantic Testing Laboratory. Various semi-VOC in the sample from MW5 were identified at concentrations exceeding the respective New York State DEC POGS 1.1.1 values. These included benzo, anthracene, benzopyrene, benzofluorethane, benzofluoranthene, tryptene, idenopyrene, detected semi-VLC for groundwater samples from other monitored wells. Did not exceed these levels, but this well did. And then groundwater samples, detected concentrations of 2 target VLC at monitor well location MW8 were identified to exceed New York State DEC POGS 1.1.1 values. Additionally, various detected targets semi-VOC at monitor well location MW5 were identified at concentrations exceeding New York State DEC POGS 1.1 values. Based on the information collected during the groundwater sampling event, groundwater does appear to be impacted by semi-VOC in the area of MW5 and VOC in the area of MW8. For any future redevelopment of the subject site where groundwater dewatering is necessary, work activities should include proper groundwater management activities, evacuation and disposal, pump and treatment in the impacted areas. Here is a picture, shows the current building. It shows the setbacks. As you can see, there is no parking. Basically, very little parking, I should safely say. And I also have here with me DEC that speaks of a concern of contamination for trimethylbenzene in both soil and groundwater. And that doesn't mention the asbestos. So you have asbestos in the building, you have groundwater contamination, you have a building that is not grandfathered. It's in a zone with limited development potential and has practically no parking residents to be considered setbacks. And considering the visual aspects of this building, one town person does not represent the commonality or the consensus of the town. I think I would do what says that, I have a better feel for it. I think the public wants this building down without the.
Thank you, Supervisor Stroud. Supervisor Simpson, I'm curious if you are agreeable to Supervisor Merlino's suggestion, giving people.
I would, my first concern would be how we would address the liability going forward. We should not reclaim the site and ensure that we cover all bases on contamination. I'm not comfortable selling that property with that information.
Okay, we do have the letter from DEC dated December 3rd, 2018, where they have reviewed all of the information, and based upon the information to date, no further investigation or remediation is required. It is anticipated that contaminated soil could be encountered during future redevelopment of the site. So our current demolition bid does not include removing the slab. So if we do the demolition, we will not be remediating the soil or the groundwater. That's a whole nother ball of wax. So
I agree. In response, I agree. And that may be something that we need to take up in the future if should be on the spot. But I think if you look at every other property that we've taken over that had these issues, we've spent the money. That's why we have that environmental fund that we have for testing to ensure that if these properties are sold back to the public, they're safe and they're clean.
well, we did just sell the Sivagagi site. That was like a Superfund site. And we didn't do any remediation there. Okay, so I'm hearing the committee does not want to let anyone in there. No bidders allowed to check out the property. Okay. Other than Supervisor Merlino and myself. Okay. Do you have time to give your update?
I do. I just wanted to read, as long as supervisors and members of the press are in the room, we've been waiting on the text of the governor's executive orders from yesterday. I have them, just got them 2 minutes before this meeting started. This is executive order number 202.4. I'll get to the meat of it. Therefore, by virtue of the authority vested in me, the executive law, I hereby issue the following directives. Any local government or political subdivision shall, effective March 17, 2020, allow non-essential personnel as determined by the local government to be able to work from home or take leave without charging accruals, except for those personnel essential to the locality's response to the COVID-19 emergency. Such non-essential personnel shall total no less than 50% of the total number of employees across the entire workforce of such local government or political subdivision. Restrictions on reporting to work for any state worker whose service is non-essential or not required to support the COVID-19 response are expanded to all counties in the state of New York. Notwithstanding any prior directives, every school in the state of New York is hereby directed to close no later than Wednesday, March 18, 2020, for a period of 2 weeks, ending April 1st, 2020. The state shall reassess at that time whether to extend such closure beyond this date and may continue to suspend the 180-day instructional requirement. The 180-day suspension will be adjusted to the state's allowed closure directive. Schools that exceed the period will not be exempted from the 180-day rule. School districts shall develop a plan for alternative instructional options, distribution and availability of meals and childcare, with an emphasis on serving children and parents in the healthcare profession or first responders who are critical to the response effort. Such plans shall be submitted to the State Education Department and may be amended or modified by the State Education Department in consultation with the Department of Health and Office of Children and Family Services at any time. Any village election to be held March 17, 2020 shall be postponed, and any elected official holding such position shall remain in office until such time as a new election is held. The second executive order, 202.3, again, I'll skip to the meat of it. The directive requiring large gatherings and events to be canceled or postponed if they had anticipated attendance in excess of 500 people is hereby amended and modified to require that any large gathering or event shall be canceled or postponed if more than 50 persons are expected in attendance and at any location in New York State until further notice. Any restaurant or bar in the state of New York shall cease serving patrons food or beverages on premise effective at 8 p.m. on March 16, 2020, and until further notice shall only serve food or beverage for off-premises consumption. Notwithstanding any provision of the Alcohol and Beverage Control Law, a retail on-premises licensee shall be authorized for the duration of this executive order to sell alcohol for off-premises consumption, which shall include either takeout or delivery, subject to reasonable limitations set by the state liquor authority. Any facility authorized to conduct video lottery gaming or casino gaming shall cease operation effective at 8 p.m. on March 16th until further notice. Any gym, fitness centers, or classes and movie theaters shall also cease operation effective 8 p.m. on March 16th until further notice. No local government or political subdivision shall issue any local emergency order or declaration of emergency or disaster inconsistent with, conflicting with, or superseding the foregoing directives or any other executive order issued under Section 24 of the Executive Law, and any local emergency orders or any local administrative codes, charters, laws, rules, or regulations are hereby suspended with respect to any such order issued under such authority, different or in conflict with the executive directives. That's it.
Thank you.
I'll see you at 11.
Okay.
Is that all you want?
No, that wasn't all. Thank you, Chairman Thomas, for coming in. I had asked you to come in because we had a tie on our vote for whether, it wasn't even really a vote, it was a consensus of the committee or not to allow the bidders to go into the Mullins property on Bay Road so that they could take a look at the inside if they wanted to bid on the property if that became available. Amanda advises me that you are not permitted to vote on the committee only if there is not a quorum, but we do have a quorum, so you won't be forced to make a tough decision on that one. Although if you want to express your opinion, I would certainly give you the floor.
I have to give my deference to the town Queensbury, that's what we do. So, if the supervisor of Queensbury is saying what the town wants it down, I think at this point, after 20 years,
Thank you. Supervisor Simon?
Madam Chair, just a couple more comments. If the town of Queensbury's board wants the building down, we certainly should need that to down. They can handle the demolition costs. Two, if that's the case, if we're not gonna allow people to visually go on the property to competitively bid on the acquisition of the property, how do we expect anybody to submit bid?
Right, it's going to be very difficult.
If they're not gonna be able to submit bid.
Yeah.
We're not allowing the public to participate in the acquisition of this property. We've had 3 different people come forward saying they're interested.
There's actually 5.
Fine.
Serious.
So how can we limit people from not going in there and doing the due diligence, and not allowing them to evaluate it and submit a bid? All we're asking for is to allow these people interested in purchasing the property to go in and submit a bid. If nobody submits the bid, we come back and tear the building down, period. That's it. We set a timeline on the bidding process, like Supervisor McGowan suggested. Once we exceed that timeline, the building comes down if nobody wants it. I could live with that.
I'm gonna close the discussion. Thank you. Any further discussion? All right, motion to adjourn, please. Supervisor Strauss, second by Supervisor Simpson. Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. Thank you.